Welcome to The Sports Answer with Rudy Campos Jr. From the latest NBA news to the gridiron and beyond, we are diving deep into the headlines that matter most to you. Today's show is proudly brought to you by Salem Surround San Antonio, your local experts in digital marketing and audience connection. Before we break the huddle, do me a huge favor. Head over to YouTube and subscribe to the Answer Now TV. Don't miss a single highlight, interview, or heated debate. The clock is ticking, and the game is on. Let's go.
Hey, good morning, Sports Answer fans. Rudy Campos Jr. for the Sports Answer here at Answer Now TV on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. We come to you every single Sunday, even on Easter Sunday. Happy Easter, everybody. We are coming to you live again from the Sports Answer Studios, the Salem Surround Studios. Shout out to Salem Surround, 210-526-3635. You need that digital marketing. You need that advertising help. You just need your brand to grow. Call Salem Surround, 210-526-3635, or go to the website, salemsurround.com/San Antonio. Again, welcome to the Sports Answer, where you've got those sports questions. We've got the Sports Answer. What do we got today? Well, going to be a quick show. Obviously, we do about 35 minutes on this show here. We've got the NCAA championships. We've got the women's going today. We've got the men's going tomorrow. Both championship games are set. I'm going to get into that just in a little bit. We're actually going to touch on a player to watch, and it's not on the men's side. It's going to be on the women's side. I think if her performance just continues to grow in this NCAA tournament, and she has a memorable NCAA Women's Championship game, I think she can end up going number one in the WNBA draft here. We'll get into that here in just a little bit. MLB. So a lot of people are seeing about the ABS this season. We've seen a lot of challenges. We've seen a lot of umpires basically, miss some calls, but we're going to get into the robot side of things. Robot umps, quote unquote, robot umps are, supposed to be taking over very, very soon. And it takes out the human error, the human nature part of the game. Myself and Jacob Eric, we talked about it a couple of days ago on the Sports Answer. I want to revisit that a little bit here for those of y'all that did miss that show. Also, we're going to recap last night's Denver-San Antonio game, probably, in my opinion, one, if not the game of the year. Two MVPs collided last night. We'll get into that in Spurs Chisme segment. But nonetheless, we got to kick it off with March Madness. It's almost done here. We've got two championship games back-to-back here, one tonight, one tomorrow. Who do you guys got? Let me know in the comments here. Part of the Salem Surround Studios, 210-526-3635. It's March Madness time. All right, welcome back to the Sports Answer here on Salem Surround Studios. And we're going to get into the women's game real quick. South Carolina, UCLA. And we all know the Gino Auriemma and Dawn Staley, beef that they had in that game. Personally, if you were asking me about that, Gino was completely wrong on that. Gino's got this major ego, this huge head on his shoulders that he can do no wrong and no wrong can be done. I don't agree with that. Gino, as great of a coach as he is, he's also been blessed with a bunch of great athletes, great players that have come through his program. And I get it. You're used to winning. You're used to winning multiple national championships. You're used to having undefeated seasons, yada, 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 yada. You've got to understand, man, you can be humbled. And South Carolina and Dawn Staley humbled the ever-living crap out of the UConn Huskies. I mean, you're talking about the UConn Huskies who had one player in Azzi Fudd that could go number one in the WNBA draft. Predicted to go number one to the Dallas Wings. But again, Gino's ego, Gino's aura came out and just disrespected Dawn Staley. I don't like that. You're getting your butt kicked. You're trying to make excuses for stuff that's not happening. A la Sarah Strong's jersey being ripped. Didn't happen. She did it on her own. But you still can't take responsibility for your actions. I respect Gino a whole lot as a head coach. I do. It's one of the head coaches that I followed when I was coaching basketball, and I'm still coaching basketball to this day. He's one of the guys that I look at. I love the intensity. I love the fire. I mean, we see it from Dan Hurley all the time in UConn. He directs it towards everybody. Gino, you're going to get humbled, and you're going to stay humbled sometimes. South Carolina had the better team. You don't like what Dawn did? Oh, she didn't shake my hand. She didn't do this. Who cares? It's competition. You don't always have to be friends, or you don't always have to be, buddy buddy before a game. It's a big game. It's an intensity game. You got to understand, it's not always going to go your way, Gino. So I don't like that. I didn't like that at all. I don't like the way he handled it. Very bad look for Gino, but you know what? It's okay because Gino kind of comes with his territory. It's not the first time. It won't be the last time we see anything like that out of Gino Auriemma. But South Carolina did come away with the victory. On the other side of the bracket, I had Texas winning the national championship. Rory Harmon, Madison Booker. I loved what this Texas team was doing all season. Madison Booker struggled. I felt so bad watching Madison Booker struggle against the UCLA Bruins. 18 points in the season, just playing absolute beautiful basketball by Madison Booker. She's a junior. I think she comes back, obviously, for her senior season at Texas. But it just humbled me, humbled her, humbled Texas to see her on that stage and just struggle. I was hoping for Texas to come out on top, to meet either UConn, who I had UConn on that side of the bracket, either meet UConn or South Carolina, and eventually go to a national championship game and win that title. Didn't happen. Lauren Betts from UCLA. Can't say enough good things about her. Beginning of the season, beginning of the NCAA college women's season, we talked about Lauren Betts a little bit. I remember telling Derek Urban, I think she's going to be the number one pick. She's got to be. And I still do not sway away from that. The Dallas Wings, Paige Beckers, Arika. I can understand you want to get Azzi Fudd, as the number one pick. I can truly understand that. Maybe a Awafam from Spain. You can even go dive deep, trade down, and we get Olivia Miles. TCU guard. Oh my God, Olivia Miles is great. I think the number one pick is staring you right in your face, and she's going to be playing tonight against South Carolina. I think Dallas goes. They have to go Lauren Betts. If Lauren Betts has a monster game and leads the Bruins to a national championship, Lauren Betts undoubtedly and unquestionably has to be the number one pick in WNBA draft. There's no doubt in my mind. Very consistent player, defensive minded, big man, big woman. I don't want to say big man. I'm used to the sports, the male side of things. Big woman. She can easily turn that franchise around with Paige Beckers. Easily turn it around. I get the Azzi Fudd teaming up with Paige Beckers. Make it a nice little, trio of guards in Dallas. But Dallas needs somebody big. Awafam, okay. Project pick, maybe. But Lauren Betts is the number one pick for me if I'm Dallas. Especially if she goes out and delivers a title and dominates a South Carolina team. It's going to be a great matchup tonight. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be a great matchup. Out of the two games, Michigan, UConn, on the men's side, I'm looking more forward to this game right here. Myself and my daughter will be watching UCLA, South Carolina. On to the men's side, Lucas Oilfield. I had Arizona winning it. You guys remember my bracket. I had Arizona winning it. Arizona looked completely horrid last night. Completely horrid. It was bad. It was terrible. It happens. I guess we can say it does happen. It does. They laid an egg. It's okay. It happens. You're talking about Koa Pete, who obviously is going to be a top lottery pick this season in the NBA draft. 16 points last night. Leading scorer for Arizona. They just couldn't get anything going. They could not get anything going. Arizona is probably going to have at least 3 first-round picks this NBA draft. Minimum 3. Koa Pete's going to be the one that you're going to really look at here. But on the side of that, Braden Berries didn't really have a great game. Shot 2 of 10 from 3-point range. The Wildcats just looked lost last night. They didn't look good at all. Lindenberg from Michigan, 11 points, 3 boards. Morris Johnson, he had what, 10, 10 and 12, 10, 10 and 7, I think is what it was. Eddie Mara, 26. Where Arizona has 3 first-round picks, Michigan more than likely has the same in this upcoming NBA draft. Guys, this NBA draft in 2026, loaded. Probably the best NBA draft class we've seen, period. And I know you hear everybody say that every single year. Oh, this class is going to be good. All of the media guys hyping it up. I don't hype up a whole lot of NBA drafts. I do a lot of draft coverage. I don't hype them all up. But this draft, you're going to have some monster players in this draft. At least the first 20 to 22 picks can be instant impact players if they go to the right team. This is a loaded NBA draft class. And next year, 2027, it's going to be a decent NBA draft class. But this year is the year you want to have some picks. Michigan, Arizona. Michigan takes the win on there, 91-73 over the Wildcats. Then you had UConn, Illinois. I said it last week, man. I don't think Illinois was ready for this moment. You had obviously Stojakovic, Andre Stojakovic. Keaton Wagler had 20 points. He's going to be another top pick in the NBA draft coming up here. They just couldn't get it together, man. I mean, Braylon Mullins, he's going to be another pick in the first round. This entire tournament was loaded with first-round picks. UConn, Dan Hurley, they got the job done. As much of an NCAA championship is, for me, this is kind of like a, okay. I'm excited, but I'm not too excited. I'm going to go the side of Michigan. I think Michigan does beat UConn for the national championship. Mara, Lindenberg, those guys get it done for Michigan. I think, of the two teams, I think Michigan is more consistent this season than UConn. And the way Michigan handled Arizona, who I felt was the most balanced team in the tournament, I think they get it done against UConn. Give me Michigan over UConn. As mentioned before, I'm taking UCLA over South Carolina on the women's side. So for me, we're hosting the UCLA Lady Bruins as your NCAA Women's National Champions. And for the men's, we're going to have the Michigan Wolverines hoist the NCAA National Championship for the men's side. Those are my 2 picks. What are your 2 picks here for both the women's and the men's national championship game? Shout out to Salem Surround, 210-526-3635. If you need that digital marketing needs, you know what? If you need to hoist the national championship trophy for branding and business, Salem Surround can guarantee that will happen. 210-526-3635. Call them today or go to the website, salemsurround.com/San Antonio, where you can be a champion every single day in their eyes, and they're going to prove it to you. 100% guaranteed. It's Rudy Campos here on the Sports Answer. Be sure to Answer Now TV, hit that subscribe button. Also, you can also catch Spurs in Focus with Jeff Garcia on Answer Now TV, part of the Answer Now TV family. We've got baseball, man. Who wants to get a little bit into baseball here? Everybody likes baseball. Baseball talk coming up. All right. So Jacob and I were talking here the past couple of days, and you can catch Jacob on Grading the Market. Just search Grading the Market on YouTube. He has a great podcast over there as well. But we talked about, the ABS Challenges system now, and then they're talking about robot umpire, stuff like that. So great conversation that we had on that. My take is this. I don't mind the challenges so much, but, you get 2 challenges a game as a batter. And you're like, okay, so you win, you keep going, you win, you keep going. There was a game recently where I believe a batter had challenged like 2 or 3 pitches in a row, won them all, and it's okay. I'm fine with keeping the umps honest. I'm totally okay with that. I understand, NFL's got challenges, NBA has challenges, MLB definitely could use the challenges here as well. I totally understand that, but what I didn't like and what I don't like is you take away the human error, human nature part of the game. Umpires go through rigorous trainings and, they get to this moment in MLB, and of course, they're not going to be perfect. What I mentioned to Eric, or what I mentioned to Jacob Eric, was the fact of this. When I've played the game and I pitched, and a lot of other guys pitched, the umpires usually were allowing you to paint the corners. You could get a strike zone maybe a little bit extended. And it usually wasn't just for one player. If you knew an umpire had, an extended strike zone, it would go both ways. So you made it tough for batters because you maybe had this much more of an extension on a strike zone and you were getting away with it. You were getting pitches, and I mean, you were just getting strikes left and right, and you were striking out batters left and right as well. Now with the ABS and the challenges, it turned an imperfect game into now a perfect game in some sorts. I don't like that. For me, sports should always have some imperfections in it all the time. The imperfect moments in sports are what makes sports great. It makes fans cry, it makes fans upset. It also humbles fans. The imperfect moment. Go to the Galarraga no hitter or the perfect game. Well, it was a no hitter. Where Jim Joyce made the call. We always see imperfect moments in sports, and you're taking that away. What I talked about, Jacob, on that show was this. What if you are pitching a no hitter? What if you are pitching a perfect game? Let's set the scenario. You're pitching a perfect game. There's been no challenges the entire game. You maybe had a couple of questionable calls, but you know what? It was okay. The batters were fine with it. No challenges. You're pitching the perfect game. You're in the ninth inning, two outs, full count. You need one more strike, or you need a ground ball. You need a fielder's choice. You need a pop up, whatever, to get that perfect game. You'd make your pitch. Calls it a strike. Batter challenges. You are this much off of the strike zone. It's a ball. Call return. Perfect game gone. Now you have a chance for a no hitter. But there goes that perfect game. Didn't challenge anything throughout the whole game until that one moment. I get it. People want strikeouts. People want the perfect pitches. But you're turning an imperfect game and great moments into heartbreakers. I'm fine with the challenges. Trust me, I am. I just feel like it's going to bring less no hitters. Excuse me. Less perfect games. We're going to see less of them. Because in those perfect games, there were some imperfect moments. Do you feel that maybe the ABS should stick around, but maybe also be a little bit tweaked? Maybe looked at a little bit different? Maybe you can only challenge from here to there? Personally, a lot of people are not going to like it, but I'm okay with ABS. Hey, you want to challenge the first 5 innings of a game. After that, maybe you get one between 6 and 7. And then after the 7th inning, there's no more challenges. Tweak it up a little bit. I don't like the imperfect part of baseball being taken away. Baseball's that one game where I expect the imperfect part, especially when a pitcher is pitching. Now you go from an umpire having this so much of a strike zone to it has to be perfect. You're asking the umpires to be perfect at behind the plate. It's not going to happen. For those of y'all that have umpired, you know the difficulties. You know how hard it is to determine whether a ball is a strike or a ball. It's difficult. And you get crapped on a lot. You get crapped on. That was inside. In my opinion, it wasn't. That was too high. Well, in my opinion, it wasn't. That was a ball. Not really. It was a strike. You're taking the imperfections out of baseball. Which, if you want to have the perfect game, okay. Do you want to have strikes called left and right? Do you want to have the absolute, you know, the absolute best strike zone, and that's it? Okay. It takes the guessing game out of baseball as well for batters. It takes the absolute guessing game out. And I don't like that. I don't like it. Because if you give me just that much more on the strike zone, on extension, I can do this much more damage. But because you took that away, pitchers become, well, they become ineffective in some instances. Growing up with the likes of Greg Maddux, Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson, Tim Lincecum, a lot of these guys, man, especially Maddux, would paint the corner. If you gave him just that much more of the strike zone, he was going to take it. And he made batters look foolish. Imagine going back to those days and having the ABS challenge system. Does he have that many more strikeouts? Probably not. There's a lot of guys that used to paint the corner that were just off the plate, but the umpires gave it to them. It was that close. You're taking the guessing out of the game. And to me, it hinders it a little bit more. Not against ABS challenges, not against challenges. I just feel like it's taken away my America's pastime. Rudy Campos here for the Sports Answer. Salem Surround 210-526-3635. Quick commercial break on the way back. Spurs Chisme time. Denver, Spurs. Great game. Great game. Probably game of the year. We'll talk about it when we get back.
You've been watching The Sports Answer, brought to you by Salem Surround. Salem Surround is proud to be San Antonio's premier digital marketing agency, offering a wide array of services like digital audio, email marketing, online reputation management, SEO, social marketing, and more. Visit salemsurround.com, San Antonio, and stay in the game.
So, like, I hear about the Spurs this y Spurs that, y como que esto y esta, pero I never hear about the real Spurs Chisme. Dime, por favor.
All right, everybody's favorite segment, the Spurs Chisme segment here. And what do we talk about? Well, I mean, it's only going to be obvious here. We're going to talk about San Antonio Spurs and the Nuggets last night, 136-134. Great game, man. Great game. Applause everywhere. These two teams, they really left it out on the floor. And unfortunately, it snapped the Spurs' 11-game winning streak. Came at the hands of the Nuggets, a team that they could potentially see in the playoffs in the second round. And it was a humbling experience for San Antonio. 43-36 after the first quarter. 7-point lead. Still stayed 7-point lead at the halftime. Denver came back. It was 4-point lead for San Antonio after 3. Denver took over that third quarter. Wemby, remarkable performance. MVP type performance. 34 points, 18 rebounds, 5 blocks. What do you have? 1 steal, 1 turnover, 7 assists. I mean, although those are MVP numbers. Nikola Jokic doing Jokic things. What do you end up with? 40, 13 assists, 8 rebounds. 8 rebounds. I'm looking at it now. 8 rebounds, 3 blocks. Very unlikely for Jokic to get 3 blocks, but he got 3 blocks. It was a great game. It was a humbling experience. It was something the Spurs needed. Remember, I had Denver winning the NBA title at the beginning of the season. When Denver is healthy, they are hand in hand, eye for eye with San Antonio. San Antonio is one of the deepest teams in the NBA, and Denver is right there with them. There's a reason why they went out and got a lot of these veterans. Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr., Cameron Johnson. They needed to surround Jokic with better players, and they did that this year. San Antonio needed to surround Victor with better players. They did that this year. What it came down to was the collapse of the Spurs in the fourth quarter, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I get it. We're going to get into it here in a little bit. I get the De'Aaron Fox hate. I get that y'all do it. I don't agree with it. I absolutely hate the fact that everybody comes at De'Aaron Fox. We'll get into that in a little bit. There was a lot of collapses on defense. You had falters by Fox. You had falters by Julian Champagny. Let's not forget, on the inbound pass to tie the game at the end of the fourth quarter, to send it into overtime, Jokic comes off a screen. Julian follows Jokic. Wemby follows Jokic, leaving Aaron Gordon absolutely alone in the middle of the paint for a slam dunk to tie the game. A monumental collapse, brain fart on defense by the Spurs. Something you don't see very often this season. It happened. It happened. So a lot of players were not in the right spot. They were making bad decisions. It was a team collapse. Victor did what he could. It was okay. Didn't have a great game by Keldon, which is okay. De'Aaron Fox didn't have a great game. It's fine. Stephon Castle fouled out. He had a great game, but he had the most turnovers on the team. It's okay. Devin started off hot, cooled off. Julian, steady. It's okay. Think about it like this. Denver needed this game more than San Antonio did. Chances of the Spurs catching Oklahoma City, they weren't good to begin with. Denver needed this game more than the Spurs did, and they proved why, and they showed it. This is a team, come playoff time, that you worry about. If they meet in the second round of the playoffs, I truly said, and I talked to Jeff Garcia from Spurs in Focus, I said, this is the team that is going to give the Spurs the most trouble if they meet in the second round. Absolutely the most trouble. Even if it's not the second round, even if, say, Denver stays at 4 and the Lakers stay at 3. If Denver plays OKC in the second round, I absolutely, you can record this video or whatever, play it back later. I would absolutely take Denver over OKC. If Denver is healthy, I would take Denver over OKC. There's no doubt in my mind. This Denver squad is playing good right now. Jokic's going to Jokic. Playoff Murray is a different beast. Aaron Gordon, he did an interview yesterday on Prime at the end of the game. He knows his role. He said, I've never changed my ways on defense. I still want to be that better defender, that good defender, that great defender. He showed why. Aaron Gordon is one of the most underrated defenders in the league. Plus, he had scoring. Plus, he has three-point shooting. Denver's scary. Doesn't mean the Spurs have to be scary or scared. They don't have to be. They got another crack at Denver here at the Frostbank Center very, very soon to end the season. Wemby was asked last night from Jared Wise of The Athletic about the game. So I think it was an amazing game, very fun. One of the most fun games. I wish we could have closed it out. My conclusion of this game is that it was good for us. It's a real test against a team that's actually playing for something right now. Sports Answer fans, you remember. I've talked about this for probably a month already, maybe longer. What makes this Spurs team so special is they do not get rattled. They don't get rattled. They lost a close game. I always reference that Minnesota game back in January, when they were blowing out the Timberwolves. Then they lost the lead and lost the game in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. Or I remember we went to halftime, but they ended up losing that game after having a monumental lead. That was the turning point for that team for that second half of the season. Would you believe me if I said this Denver loss, as minimal as it was, I think it meant more to the fans than it did to the players? Would you believe me if I said this Denver loss is another turning point for San Antonio, and it's coming at the right time. It's coming playoff time. They learned in this Denver loss. They learned how good this Denver team is. They learned what's expected or what's coming for them in the playoffs, not just from Denver, but from every team in that playoff series. This is that waking up moment for San Antonio. They have yet to feel playoff basketball until last night. They felt it. They understand no lead, no matter how big, how small, is safe in a playoff environment. Kudos to Denver, but kudos to the Spurs. You still are not getting rattled. You're not panicking. There's no arguing in the locker room. There's no arguing on the sidelines. It's back to the drawing board. We know what we did wrong. We will fix it. One of the only couple of teams to not lose more than 2 games in a row this entire NBA season. We referenced Minnesota, turning point, second half of the season. We're going to remember this game right here last night against Denver. Turning point, and it awakes them for the playoff push. I can almost guarantee you we're probably going to see Victor play out of his mind to inch closer to that MVP trophy these last few games. He may get 1 game of rest. I think that 1 game of rest is going to come against Denver. I don't see Denver maybe playing Joker or anybody when they play again. By that time, I think they would already have locked up that 3rd seed. Obviously, we talked about Luka and Austin Reeves going down. We mentioned that already. We talked about that. I think that Denver series, or the Denver matchup against San Antonio towards the end, it's going to be stars are going to take a break, getting ready for the playoffs. But again, they're not getting rattled. This first team will not get rattled. They talk about the inexperience for playoffs. I call BS on that. I was one of those guys who said they don't have the experience. Now, towards the end of the season, I don't look at that anymore. That's not an excuse, because they could have shown their youth, their inexperience at any time of the season. When they've gotten rattled, oh, we're on a 2-game losing streak. What happens? Boom. They come back and they start blowing out teams. They correct their mistakes. They don't make them again. It may take them 2 games, but once they figured it out, they're deadly. Love what Victor said there. Love what Victor said. Last part of the Chisme, angry fans. So I log on to X and I turn it on, turn it back off. De'Aaron Fox is all over my page. I see him, every fan going after him. I mean, for sure. His times in the games were probably highlighted the most. And the reason being is because we paid that man $60 million and we're getting, 60 cents worth of basketball right now. Come on, guys. It's 1 game. Why do we always have to find a guy to be the fall guy? To throw in the doghouse, to throw in the pop doghouse? Why is it a lot of times it's going to be De'Aaron Fox that gets thrown in that doghouse? Come on. Spurs fans, you're way better than that. Way better than that. He had 2 turnovers. Stephon Castle had 4. Not saying Stephon Castle played bad. No, he didn't. Not saying De'Aaron Fox played bad. Both guys shot, put it this way, both guys, including Keldon Johnson, had the same amount of 3-pointers made. 0. Keldon's been shooting the ball great. Stephon Castle's been shooting the ball amazing from beyond the arc. But all 3 guys combined for 0 3-point makes. De'Aaron Fox's misses, they only are highlighted more because they happened in closing time. Do we not forget that when you give a player a possession with 4 seconds on the shot clock, you are going to have to rush a shot? Those last couple of 3-point attempts by Fox were rushed. If you feel like you can do it, you go do it. You go see if you can have a hand in your face being hounded by a defender and try to knock down a 3 with the shot clock going down. It's tough. I'm not defending him on a lot of stuff. He had mistakes, and you know what? He knows he had mistakes. But so did everybody else. The Aaron Gordon dunk to tie the game at the end of the game. Mistakes made on the switch between Wemby and Julian. I don't see anything posted about that. I mean, there's a lot of players that made mistakes at the end. No reason to highlight De'Aaron Fox for one or a couple, in your opinion. There was a lot of mishaps, man. We overreact when they lose. We find every reason to hate players and hate the team because of one loss. It's one loss. They're still going to get 60 wins. They are solidified as the number 2 seed in the NBA on the Western Conference side of the thing, Western Conference side. I mean, again, what more do Spurs fans want, man? A loss is a loss. I know you don't think, well, there's no moral victories. There actually was in this case. We just put it up the victor quote. Other players at the same time. It happens. We'll get back into the gym. We'll be fine. We don't always have to find a player to crap on. And you know what? I get you paid $60 million for De'Aaron Fox. He's your max player. There's no other player that was going to get a max during that time. Wemby's up for the max. Then it's Stephon. There's no reason to crap on De'Aaron Fox. Don't let him be your scapegoat. Remember, there's been a lot of times this season De'Aaron Fox has been there and been the man for San Antonio. He does a lot. He does a lot of everything. A couple of days ago, you hear the Fox, Castle, Harper trio, best trio in the NBA, best backcourt in the NBA, probably could go down as one of the most elite backcourts or trio of backcourts in NBA if they just stick together. So, oh my God, Fox is terrible. Get him out of the game. He lost the game for us. Yada, 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 yada. Quit. Stop it. Stop it. Just stop it. I swear, Spurs fans, a lot of y'all are just, you're bipolar in a lot of sense. Happy when they win, miserable when they lose. Be a fan. Be a real fan. You don't have to complain about every loss. No team's going to go undefeated. Every team's going to have some kind of, test in front of them. They're not always going to succeed. You're going to see more failures than anything. It's playoff basketball time. Let's get ready for the playoffs. Let's be cool. Let's be calm. Let's be collective. Why? Because that's the way your San Antonio Spurs team have been all season. Instead of rooting against them, join them. Be calm. Be cool. Be collective. Be playoff ready. Rudy Campos Jr. for the Sports Answer. Salem Surround 210-526-3635. Contact them today. Go to Answer Now TV on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. You're getting the Sports Answer every single Sunday as we're bringing you that Sunday sports talk. Plus, also Fridays, we're doing the Friday drive around 5:15. So be sure to catch us. We're giving you 2 live shows at least a week. We've got a whole bunch of other shows that drop. We're going to have another one drop today. Sports Answer, another full Spurs Chisme episode is going to be dropping today at noon. Be myself and Spurs in Focus own Jeff Garcia. It's going to be talking. We're going to be going over last night's game against Denver, as well as some other topics that have been coming up in the Spurs Chisme segment. So be sure to catch that at noon. It's going to be running live. It is previously recorded, but it is going to be running live today at noon. You can catch it on Answer Now TV. Answer Now TV on YouTube. Again, we are sponsored by Salem Surround 210-526-3635. You guys, everybody, have a happy Easter. Enjoy the basketball game tonight. UCLA, South Carolina. Enjoy the men's basketball game tomorrow. Michigan and UConn. Spurs are back at home this week. They start off with Philadelphia tomorrow night. We'll see how that game goes. I fully expect them to win as well. You guys have an amazing Easter Sunday. Again, enjoy it with family. Appreciate everybody joining us here today. And remember, if you have those sports questions, we've got the sports answers for you here. We'll see you guys next week.
You've been watching The Sports Answer, brought to you by Salem Surround. Salem Surround is proud to be San Antonio's premier digital marketing agency, offering a wide array of services like digital audio, email marketing, online reputation management, SEO, social marketing, and more. Visit salemsurround.com, San Antonio, and stay in the game.